You know, it's funny what the mind decides to keep. If you asked me about my wedding day, I'd have to think for a moment. I'd remember the lace, I suppose, and the heat in the church. But there's this one Tuesday afternoon, just a plain old Tuesday, back in the late 60s, that's still clear as anything. Funny thing is, I didn't think it mattered at all. I can see it now, bare feet on the grass, sun sitting heavy on my shoulders, and that clothesline just turning nice and slow above me. I didn't think about it back then, didn't mean a thing. But now, after all these years, I think it might have been one of the best moments of my life. Funny thing is, I didn't understand it then, but I do now. We lived on a 1/4-acre block. Most people did. Nothing fancy. Just a small brick house. And a backyard that felt bigger than it really was. The grass was that tough kind. Wait, no, it was buffalo grass. Bit dry, bit scratchy. The sort that went brown as soon as the heat came in. And right in the middle of it all stood the Hills hoist. Big thing, solid, made of metal, solid as anything, always there. To anyone else, just a clothesline, but to us, it was part of everything. Mum would be out there most afternoons, peg box on her hip, moving slow. Never in a rush, Mum wasn't. She'd take a sheet, give it a good snap to get the creases out, line it up, and pin it on. Snap. Then another. Snap. That sound. You could hear it from anywhere in the yard. Dad's work trousers, stiff with sweat and dust. Our school uniforms, and those little socks, the ones that never seem to have a mate. All of it just hanging there in the sun. Then she'd grab the handle, that little iron lever, and start winding. Creak, creak, creak. Up it would go, lifting everything into the breeze. And the smell. You don't forget that. Clean washing, warm cotton, a bit of dry earth in the air. That was home. Underneath it, that's where we were. The ground was hot, sometimes too hot. You'd step quick, dancing from one foot to the other, trying not to let it show. You'd look around first, make sure no one saw you hopping about. But you stayed out there anyway. We'd make up games. Didn't need much back then. Bit of space, a tennis ball with the fuzz worn off. And that was enough. Backyard cricket most days. Rubbish bin for a wicket. Rules changing every 5 minutes, depending on who was winning. Someone always arguing. Someone always saying it was 6 and out over the fence. And sometimes, when the wind picked up a bit, the whole line would start turning on its own. Slow at first, just a little creak, then faster. Shirts lifting, sheets catching the air, everything moving together. We'd just stand there, watching it. Didn't need to say anything. Every now and then, one of Mum's sheets would brush past your face, cool and soft, smelling like soap and sunshine. You'd close your eyes for a second, just feeling it. Didn't know why, just did. And the noise of the street, it was different then. Not many cars, just the occasional Holden thrumming past. And the magpies, always the magpies, warbling away in the gums like they owned the place. I look at the world now, and it's so loud. Everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's looking down at those little screens, waiting for something to happen. But that afternoon, I still think about that sometimes. That feeling, standing there, doing nothing at all. And somehow, that was enough. Nothing was happening, and that was the magic of it. We weren't waiting for the next thing. We were just there, safe, with the sun on our backs and the sound of Mum's kettle whistle drifting out through the fly screen door. Funny what sticks, isn't it? Not the big days, not the things you circle on the calendar. Just something like that. A quiet afternoon with the washing whirring gently in the breeze. And somehow, after all this time, that ends up meaning everything. Yeah, everything really. If this brought something back for you, you might like these little stories I share. You're always welcome here.